Hello you lovely people, and welcome back to my channel, Cook with Joy. For today's video, I am going to be sharing a recipe with you. I am sharing a recipe for savory waffles. Let me know down in the comments if you have ever had or made savory waffles. I actually found this recipe on the back of a gluten-free flour mix that I got one time, and it was kind of marketed as a drop biscuit, and then there was an alternative recipe for a sweet version for kind of a shortcake. But the consistency of it is great to make waffles, and I just have a mini waffle iron that I use to make these, and they are so delightful. So let me show you what goes into these savory waffles. Okay, for the ingredients for these savory waffles, you will need 2 cups of flour, and I, of course, as always, am using my gluten-free flour mix, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 to 1 teaspoon of salt. You will need 1 egg, but I am making this vegan, so I'm going to be using a flax egg, which is just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 3 tablespoons of water. Then you need 2 teaspoons of sugar, 8 tablespoons of cold butter. Since I'm making this vegan, I am going to be using this Earth Balance vegan butter, but again, if you don't need it to be vegan, you could certainly use regular butter. And then 2/3 a cup of any type of milk. I'm using oat milk because that's what I have on hand that is vegan. And again, you could use any type of milk that you have on hand or that works for you. And then since these waffles are savory, I am gonna throw in a couple of spices. I'm going to be putting rosemary and garlic powder. Rosemary is my favorite flavor to use with these savory waffles, but if you don't like rosemary or you like some other sort of spice, you could definitely use pretty much any type of spice to make these savory. The first thing I'm going to do is actually go ahead and mix up that flax egg just to let it sit for a while, because it kind of gets to be a different consistency, almost like a congealed consistency after you let it sit for a couple of minutes. And while that's setting, I'm gonna go ahead and mix all of the dry ingredients together, and then I will be cutting in the butter to make that kind of crumbly mixture that you get when you're making any sort of like biscuit or crust. So let's get to work. Okay, so this is the consistency that you will want your mixture prior to adding in the wet ingredients. Next up, all you're going to do is add the wet ingredients to this dry mixture and just incorporate it really well. Before I do that though, I'm gonna go grab my mini waffle maker, get that plugged in, let it get heated up, and I'm also gonna go ahead and grab my oil spray. So we're going to make sure this doesn't stick. We'll use a sufficient amount of oil on that. So let's get to doing that. Okay, it is ready. Let's cross our fingers. Ooh, it's really hot. Ooh, okay. Maybe it did work. Maybe the oil worked. Yes, it did. Look at that beautiful, perfect waffle that I can't really get off here with one hand. So this batch made 8 mini waffles, and I was using 1/4 a cup of the batter for each waffle. And these waffles are great to go with soup or chili, or even some sort of stew for a great fall evening meal. They're also really great, you can freeze them, and just like you get the packaged frozen waffles, you can make them in the toaster oven or a toaster, maybe in the microwave. I don't know, I've never tried that. I usually make them in the toaster. So they're great for kind of meal prepping if that's your thing. But let's go ahead and give this a try together. I'm sure that it would be really good with butter on it, but honestly, I feel like they're good just on their own. And so I'm just gonna take a bite of one on its own. So good. Okay, you lovely people, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this recipe, how I make savory waffles. Let me know down in the comments if you are going to give them a try. And as always, I really appreciate you watching my video all the way until the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.